Hey, welcome back. This is Jesse St. World. Today I've got a great one for you. I'm doing a gear review for a brand new company. They are called NEWBE, and I know that kind of sounds like new to playing guitar, but it's actually NEWBE. And they sent me, just to let you know, it is a sponsored video, but like with all of mine, they're always going to be honest, so either going to be making a company very happy today or very angry.
Jesse St. World.
All right, let's jump right into it. So like I said, NEWBE, and that is N-E-W-B-E-E, like that. Today we've got this little mini amplifier, little practice amp. It's got a Bluetooth. It is 10 watts. Let's see what else we got here. Wireless, recharge, USB-C. Awesome. So no batteries, just recharge it with your cell phone charger. This amp is the KG10 by NEWBE. And I'm going to be checking this out. Along with that, just for fun, they did send me some guitar picks, celluloid. And it is a little bit odd, but I actually use two different kinds of picks. These cheaper celluloids like these are actually really, really awesome. The super thins for shredding. So I actually like to use a very, very thin, and I do like the celluloid. I've got a ton of them here. I always keep a ton of guitar picks in my little Altoids tin, and I've got even another bigger thing full of guitar picks right there as well. So if I'm shredding, I'm usually using a very thin celluloid, which we're going to try these out today. I do use extremely big picks and often bass picks for when I'm just playing rhythm parts. So if I'm recording leads, very, very thin picks. If I'm recording any kind of distorted heavy tones, I'm using big picks. And third but not least, we got here the NEWBE. This is their little clip-on tuner. I love these things. Even though I always bring at least two tuners with me on tour, I usually have like a Boss that's on my pedal board, and then the TU2, and then I usually have the TU1000, the huge one, just for festival dates, because my eyes aren't the best, and that way you can see a huge readout. So I always have two of them with me, and then I also, on top of having the big stage tuners for small stages and for big festival stages, I also like to have these clip-ons, and my last one fried. So good on NEWBE for sending me one, because the last couple I've had took those little circular, about I don't know, they're kind of in between a nickel and a quarter size watch batteries, and those things, after time, if the tuner gets damp, if it gets too hot, those batteries will usually fry. And this particular tuner is one where you can just plug it in with your cell phone adapter. So let's check these out. Now, the prices on these, I can tell you, if everything works, then they're going to get a pretty decent rating out of me. And the reason why is we've got for the amp, I didn't go to their actual website. I wanted to see what you guys are going to see, so I just went directly to Google and hit shopping, just so I would kind of see, if you guys look these up, what you're going to see as far as prices. The amplifier, this KG, what is this one? KG10, is in the $40 range, around $45. You could buy the clip-on tuner for about 15 bucks, which is fairly standard, a little cheap actually. Some of the better ones are around $24.99. And then the guitar picks, I'm not sure how many comes in this, but it is around the $6 to $10 range. 16 pieces. So 16 for around 6 to 10. It's not bad. These are super cheap. Everything they sent me here would literally be, let's see here, about the exact same price for two people to go to Taco Bell or McDonald's and get a meal and a drink. So I mean, all added up, you're looking about, you know, maybe 50 bucks or something like that. Pretty cheap. All right, for the unboxing. awesome. And a decent length charger. I seem to have these chargers everywhere around my little music room here. I just do all my YouTube videos out of an RV that I own. And I have these chargers freaking everywhere. But I like the ones that are around the 4-foot range. Otherwise, I'm kind of tied to the side of my computer here. Okay, pretty standard stuff here. Owner's manual. Now, this is a foreign product, so it's got all that kind of stuff on the back. Pretty simple here. So we do have gain and clean on this amp, which is awesome. To be completely honest, I figured with something this small, because it's super tiny, that it would be just a distortion only, and typically it's not great distortion, or a clean only, so you can just kind of run scales and strum on it. And then typically with these small amps, your clean channel is going to be a little bit distorted. So we'll see how this performs. So I just got a little bit of bubble wrap there. Just simple owner's manual, and that is it. So this is pretty chill. We do have an aux in, a headphone, and just the DC, which is just the phone battery, if you can see it there. So pretty simple. All right. Now I do have, well, I'm not going to knock them into each other. I do have two guitars here. I got a cheaper guitar around the $500 range. This one right here that Enya sent me. And then I've been sponsored by a ton of different companies, but I was with Schecter for 10 years. So this is a guitar that I used when I was in a band with some of the members of Rob Zombie for 7 years. So I know for a 100% fact, this guitar sounds awesome. From the little that I've used of this $500 guitar, it sounds great as well. Like I said, this is about a $1,000 guitar and about a $500 guitar, just so we can hear the difference between the two. Don't want to turn it up too loud. Let's see here. Let's start with clean. It's always best to start clean. Then we'll go to the dirty channel. And we've got, let's see, aux, gain. Just do a little bit of gain. We'll do tone all halfway up. It's already getting fairly loud. Not super loud, but didn't expect too much out of 10 watts. But here we go. Not bad, not super loud, but for 10 watts, it is not too bad. Let me go ahead and pick it up here for you. A nice aesthetic. It's got that kind of Marshall look to it. Now let's go ahead and check out. Oh, I do have the volume cranked. I don't want to blow it. Let's check out this tone knob, because that could be pretty funky. Oh, there we go. A little bit more clarity. Alright, so for right now, didn't want much gain because we're on the clean channel. I've got the tone all the way up now, and then the aux is turned to half. So, crystal clear on the cleans, and that's what we want. Let me turn it down a little bit, make sure. So it does feedback a teensy bit when it's, you know, right in front of you. Quite a bit of volume. Not a bad tone. Man, that thing does love to scream. Let me get this We'll bring the tone back down to half. Let's go ahead and check out the other guitar as well. So it did feedback a little bit, but that could be the, you know, the cheaper guitar. I just don't know. That's why I wanted to start with it. All right. Not bad. So if the question is, will it chug? It will. Not bad, little C sus chord there. Let's go back to the distorted channel. And it's not bad. Like I said, a little bit feeding back, but I've got it right next to my leg, so. A little out of tune. Got to get this guitar tuned up. Like I said, they did give me a tuner, so it's a bonus there. Let's go ahead and make sure this doesn't squeal. Get it back to clean. All right. So I don't know if you guys could tell there, but the Schecter definitely did sound quite a bit better. So, and to turn it on, you literally just have the volume here. So volume off, and then just like that. Just got the one button for distortion. And like I said, the tone really was more of just like a in between middle and treble. All right, now for the rating part of this. So, like I said, I'm glad I grabbed two guitars. I even had a third one over there with a Bill Lawrence pickup that I was going to check out just in case neither guitar sounded good, which luckily wasn't the case, because that's probably the guitar. I have an acrylic guitar over there that I use for recording sometimes, and the body weight of it is so heavy that in combination with that Bill Lawrence pickup, it just sounds awesome. But the Schecter sounded great. The Enya sounded really good with the clean channel. Plus the Enya has, you know, the built-in effect, so it had a little bit of chorus. I don't know if you heard that whenever I was on the distorted channel here, just because those guitars come with effects, and I don't have a dry effect in that loop there. Everything has like delays and reverbs and stuff on it. But if you take a look here, it's got that old school kind of Marshall-ish kind of look. Kind of reminds me of some of the amp plugins from Amplitude by ToneX. I don't know if you guys have checked that out, but I would say, I mean, for 40 bones, the look is killer. The distorted side got super loud once I plugged in the hotter guitar, the Schecter. And what is that Schecter? This thing is so modified. Mainly used it for music videos. This is a Blackjack SLS Schecter Diamond Series, in case you're wondering. And everything in this guitar, I believe, is stock. It's been so many years since I've toured with it. But, yeah, the Enya I thought sounded great with the clean. The Schecter is really what really pushed it for the distorted side. And it did get really loud for the 10 watts. Now, this Enya guitar, this white one right here, this one has a 10-watt amp in it. I can even... And if you notice, it's nowhere near as loud as this amp was. So, All right, for a rating, the NEWBE KG10, like I said, on Google, they list for around the 40s, 45-ish bucks. I will have to plug this in, let it charge up, see how long it lasts. Battery life is kind of a big thing with this as well, right? But the fact that you can rock out with this, you get cleans that are actually clean, distortions that are actually distorted and actually chugged, which I'm pretty surprised by for 40 bucks. I will give this a 3.8, and the only reason why not a full 4 stars would be just that it does feedback a little bit. Not that you would put compression in this, but in newer amps, a lot of times when you're doing modelers, you would want to put just a little bit of compression so it doesn't feed back. But for just a rock and roll kind of Marshall clone that you can jam on, I say it's worth it. I'll give it a 3.8. All right, let's move on. So this tuner, let's see how this does, and I'm hoping for my sake that this thing is actually charged, because otherwise I'm gonna have to stop recording and come back. All right, once again I'm getting yet another of these phone chargers. I have to make a little pile. Yeah, put it with the other one. All right, who's a little bitty guy. Now this one is the GT30 by NEWBE, and on Google these retail for $15.99. These are all products you can get on Amazon. Kind of checking out the cheapy side of Amazon, but you never know. Sometimes cheap stuff, especially from overseas, can be awesome. We shall see. Okay. It looks like I have another tuner on the other guitar, so we'll just use the this Enya. And I know just from jamming a second ago when you heard me that this thing is not perfectly in tune. It's close. It's within the vicinity. All right, let's check this out. It's got a little pull tab on here. Oh, that is just the screen protector. All right, so open and then mode. So it's got different modes on it, it looks like. Oh, there we go. So it is registering. And I typically have this guitar. I've been writing with it. It's a great guitar just to jam around on. I have it tuned to G, so that is correct, and I am off. Now, if you see there, it looks pretty good, right on the money, or at least it was when I first hit it. Let me hit it again. To G tuning. I do a double dropped G, so this is also there we go. So let's see if it will actually register a double drop G, because I use this just to write and super low tunings on. So technically I've got this to a C tuning, C, G, C, F, A, D, and then I double drop, so G. Let's see if I can get the tuner in there. Wow. It was confused for a second, but wow. It does perfectly read the double dropped G. So that is super low tuning, and it is registering it. So the tuner's on point. On point. Should be an A. Wow, it's almost a half step out on everything. pretty decent. I have to stretch them out a little bit. Try it again, but it does have a nice big screen for how tiny of a little guy this is, as you can see there. Not too bad. Need to tune it again. Well, without going through like a bass or something crazy, trying to get down low, I think dropped G tuning is about as low as I typically go, or F, and it actually registered. And it's going to be hard for me to let you see the back here, but it does have different modes, on and off button, and then I haven't pulled this tab yet, but it's just a protector for the screen. So for this, I will give it a 4 out of 4, and if I end up having any issues with it, I'll let you guys know in the comments later once I get this posted. But for now, I will give it a perfect score just because it did tune everything up immediately. It does have a fairly large readout for being so small. And just to give you a nice little comparison, another company gave me another tuner, and this one I have had a lot of trouble with. It's my eyesight. It's just not a big enough readout on this other cheapy tuner. So I actually really dig the NEWBE. Like I said, a lot bigger there. If you want to check the comparison of another competitor, see what I mean? A lot bigger register. And I kind of hate on this other kind of off company that sent me something where it's just an A, and then if it's an E, it'll have the lines through it on the bottom and the top. It kind of gives you each within the frame of that A. I like it better when there's just a big old register that'll tell you which string you're on and what tuning you're in. So give that 4 stars on that. Let's go ahead and move on. Guitar picks, I'm pretty easy to please, to be honest, as long as I can do something with them. Like I said, this is a 16 piece. Aha! Oh, that's nice. They give you a little holder with it as well. I actually needed another one of these. I think I have one in the jar there. Yeah. Nice little snap case available there. All right. And I was sponsored by this company right here. I don't think they exist anymore, but this is a super heavy pick, so I was using something very large and heavy. Wow, these are actually pretty freaking heavy. Yes, I would use these definitely. I would use these for rhythm for sure. Let's try this. So, just a little celluloid, a little cheapy pick. It works. Like I said, I thought these were going to be super thin for shredding, but decent. They're actually super heavy picks, so maybe perhaps they have different sizes. All right, guys. So for the picks, I mean, they work. Nothing fell apart, but they are thicker, so you got to lean into these a lot before you start cracking them. I will be nice and give these a 3.5. It doesn't have any fancy printouts, or it doesn't say on it what the width or anything is on it, so give that a 3.5. All right, guys, I hope you liked this one. Definitely check out NEWBE. Like I said, instead of NEWBE, like a new guitar player, it's NEWBEE. And like I said, all good ratings. I liked all of it. The amp actually sounded way better than I thought it would, and I might actually put it up here on my next to my my backdrop. Just something to jam around on. I have a line 6 that I use that's at the very edge here. This guitar has an amp with it, and then now that I've got that other little practice amp, I'm definitely going to use it. Like I said, it actually chugged. I thought it would be pretty weak, but with the Schecter, it sounded great. All right, guys. See you next time.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out. But hey, that's not all. Go ahead and check the description of this video and check out my Amazon affiliate links and a link to my shop. And you can find my original paintings, you can find prints, hats, hoodies, t-shirts. All that stuff really helps out. Just watch more videos. There's ones right here, there's ones right here. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out.
Jesse. Sing.